Today on Path of Exile 2.
Jaman Ra is back where he belongs. I have given him a proper death. By removing his head, I acknowledged him, though he was never a king, despite what the Ferelden may choose to believe. Those who have survived this war will be given a choice. It would be a waste to kill the Ferelden who have proven themselves in battle. They may choose to be acknowledged, to have a place at the table, or they can remain outcasts. Either way, it is time to write a new chapter. Who knows what the future holds? After what has happened here, the other Akaras must consider joining the Ardura. I intend to be persuasive. Yes, we can take you to the edge of the desert. Then we will continue to track the beast. You must find a way to contain it. When we find out where it is being taken, we will seek you out. Until then.
Whoops, didn't mean to press that.
The beast has grown too. We can no longer contain it through mortal means. There was once an empire that embraced corruption. They studied it, mastered it, and became the greatest civilization the world has ever known. But it led to their destruction. Our allies will continue the pursuit of the beast, but we shall undertake a different search. We must go to the ruins of the Val Empire, in search of a weapon against the coming cataclysm.
It always seems to come back to the Val for some reason.
Exile is close. Be careful. The Val heavily relied on the use of corruption. Their lands may still be dangerous.
The last time we discovered this person's identity, they just called him Sin and showed his wings, and guess we don't get that.
I will tell your tale, Jingak. Return someday, and you might hear Risu tell it in my place.
Okay.
We strayed from the route marked on our map, driven further afield by painted men with savage intent. Tonight, for reasons I cannot fathom, we have been granted a brief reprieve. Our hunters halted at the edge of this marsh, unwilling to pursue. They watched from the trees as we threaded the narrow band of solid ground between desert and swamp. I know not what they fear, but we must brave the unknown if we are to reach the encampment at the ziggurat. Through my spyglass, I see nothing ahead. The waters lie still, and the muddy banks between seem clear. Yet my nerves burn with the unmistakable sense of being watched. There is no one, no thing, but this silence feels alive. We have no choice but to run for it.
A swamp full of mosquitoes and ticks. Still, better than sand and heat. Now!
There's a lot of ads, man. I got a little overwhelmed right there. Whoops.
Putrefy!
Here we go.
What a noisy tree.
It's too bad the enemies that he spawns don't give us experience points, because that would have been a lot more worthwhile. I guess we never did look to see what we need to find here. 1, 2 bosses, and a hanging tree. Alright, we've got a few things to find then. Perfect. I will take skill gems, thank you. Got a couple little side paths back here that we missed. So rather than advancing, I want to go back and make sure these other 2 objectives in this area aren't here first. Full on stuff. Alright, we better fix that.
How can I...
What? Do not wander.
The hanging tree. Got a ring.
Putrefy!
I guess the ring is what we were meant to find here. I'm okay with that.
A shaman and her maul. Splinters of bone! Another corpse to serve me.
Oh.
What kind of stunt was that, traversing the marsh? Have to be smarter if you're to survive. As quartermaster, I'll do my best to keep you alive. I can buy what equipment you find, or sell you what others have unearthed before we ship it back to Kingsmarch. If you disappear in the jungle, I'll also be the one to note your death in our logs. You're welcome.
What a weak, blubbering fool.
Hello there. I'm Alva Valai. Sorry about Oswald. He can be a bit, rough with the newcomers. But he's really not a bad sort. In any case, we can always use another pair of hands around here. Welcome. Something tells me you're the exploring type. We've got that in common. But some places even I steer clear of. I rather enjoy being alive, you see. Still, if you're feeling adventurous, there's fortunes to be made out there in the wilds. I'm especially interested in all things related to the Val. For academic reasons, of course. But a bit of treasure never goes amiss. That hooded fellow over there, he's a friend of yours, I take it? Seems to be one of few words. Oh well, I'm not one to judge the company you choose to keep. Oswald's gonna lose his wits if any more of you show up, though. Oswald's a grim sort, isn't he? He's always injury this, death that. Personally, I've never been hurt while treasure hunting. I actually find it rather easy. He always makes sure we have the proper supplies and checks his list for everything 4 or 5 times before we make a move. He also invented what I call the Oswald technique. On the rare occasions he personally goes out with us, he throws a rock at absolutely everything before touching it. Every flagstone, every pillar, every statue. You'd be positively amazed at the elaborate traps he sets off, even in places I've walked through already. I've heard of the beast. Everyone has. If someone is truly trying to raise another, then they must be the grandest of fools. These very ruins around us are the result of an attempt to control such a thing. This is the only way it can end. So you're looking for a device the Val intended to use against the Cataclysm? Ah, so that's why you came here. Well, you're on the right trail. The ziggurat on which we stand was rumored to contain a device to save their people. If you want to explore it, you'll have to find a way to drain the city first. It's hard to guess what the device inside the temple might be. I do know that it was commissioned by Queen Etziri's thaumaturge, Doriani himself. The project was given all the resources it needed, and the work was kept secret, even from Etziri. As best I could translate, they claimed using it might mean abandoning all they had built. They seemed to view it as a last resort, a way to save their legacy if all else failed. It's not often I detect fear in Val writings, but they definitely hoped they would never have to use it. How do I even begin to describe the last Queen of the Val? She left a tremendous mark on history. She was intelligent and capable enough to rule unquestioned over a bloodthirsty empire of volatile nobles, and the people adored her and feared her in equal measure. Val writings speak of her as the most beautiful woman in the era, but also the most dangerous. She sought eternal life, and she was willing to sacrifice anything to achieve it. The ruins around you are the result of those ambitions. Sometimes while I'm looting a temple, I remember that everything we find once belonged to a living, breathing person that probably died horribly. That sort of takes the fun out of it, doesn't it?
A little bit.
By their final days, the Val were a deeply tiered empire based on brutal competition. Those at the top vied with each other through any means necessary, and Doriani was the foremost among these ambitious and immoral men. He was second only to Queen Etziri herself. Exile was the seat of his power, and ancient writings claim he undertook a vast array of strange projects and sordid experiments here. Some glyphs I have seen are too stomach-churning to discuss. This little excursion here represents my lifelong ambition. It's not just about finding treasure. I want to build an entire archaeological society someday. Rayclast has countless layers of history buried beneath it, and I aim to uncover every last bit. I intend to call my group the Reliquarians. A bit ostentatious, but the best things should be. A shame I couldn't have founded it a few decades ago, back when my birthplace Oriath was still a thriving city. Thanks to the Templars, relics from a dozen different cultures found their way to that little island over the centuries, and are now all lost, thanks to the disasters that happened there. Take your time.
So most
Maybe.
depressing.
Good luck.
Her positive attitude sickens me.
I'm not surprised.
Somewhere in this region there were sophisticated canals and waterways. We might be able to use them to drain this lake. We must hope that the mechanisms are still functioning, despite their age. It is the only way to reverse the drowning of this once thriving city. The first step in our search for the secret knowledge of the Val. It is strange to return to this place of my divine youth and see it so aged and forgotten. When I was here, the Val were the height of civilization, and the future was bright. They had their problems like any other people, but I thought I could free them from the moral hazards of divinity by removing gods from the equation. While we are here, I would like to discover whether this ruination is my fault, or whether something else happened to them.
I mean, we could just blame you and get it over with.
You're the one who waded to the undead in the marsh, eh? Truly you need a guide. Luck's on your side today, friend. I am such a guide. Maybe I can help you survive. Not all tribes in this region are so friendly. You would be wise to listen to me on the dangers of the jungle. Yes, you are lucky indeed. Apus is my grandson. Can you believe that? A young spry thing like me. A grandmother. Don't be answering that. Apus inherited my son's rowdy spirit. Maybe it's a family curse. We have always been the type to do what we shouldn't, like helping outsiders such as yourself. One day, he'll be a great man, just like his father. Until then, I try to keep him safe.
Knowledge is a form of power, I suppose.
Everything here can kill you. A snake you can't see, a strange plant, even one of your own. Survival in the jungle depends upon learning the lessons from those who died before you. That's the wisdom of my tribe. And since these treasure hunters pay me so well, I don't mind sharing. Ha ha! Any place you want to know about, come to me with questions, and I will tell you what I know. The jungle ruins are full of deadly creatures, you know. Quadrillas can tear a man apart in seconds, but at least you can hear them coming. The real danger? The apes that drop down from above. Life is plenty here, thriving for generations. But death always comes for the careless.
Fair enough. Act 3 is a jungle.
How goes it? The ziggurat beneath us was once the temple of the Sun God, one of the oldest built in the city of Exile's religious district. It was in active use for at least 1,000 years. But when the Val cataclysm struck, the city flooded, presumably killing everyone inside. Good thing for us, because this lake is the only reason it hasn't been ransacked by other treasure hunters already. One man's mass death is another man's treasure, I suppose. I log everything here, so I can catalogue the thousands of ways to die the jungle offers. If you can, be sure to write some sort of final entry detailing how you die. The death log won't benefit you, of course, but it will certainly benefit me. I don't mean to be overly fatalistic, but the amateurs coming from Kingsmarch are accomplishing nothing but feeding the chimerals. The most I can do, as quartermaster, is ensure they're equipped for exploration. That's where the real profit in treasure hunting is, you see. I don't go out there if I can help it. I'm the unluckiest man alive. Yet, I'm the wealthiest in this camp. You have to be good when you're trading with the Kalgurans, or they'll fleece you. Ah, Kingsmarch. So called by the Kalgurans. They're newcomers to Rayclast. About 20 years now. They're traders by nature. In fact, they've partially funded this very expedition. For some reason, they're very interested in Vaal artifacts. We ship most of what we find back to Kingsmarch, and they pay handsomely for it.
Cool.
Watch your step.
Well, there's our salvage bench. What is this?
Sybil Launcelay. They survived. 2. Died of old age shortly after arriving. Rather traumatizing, that one. I was telling her one of my best stories when the ancient bat simply keeled over. Roland Hayton. They survived. 82. Ants.
Ants.
Martin Henshaw. They survived. 178. Touched a vibrant flower. Screamed until he twisted into a misshapen pile. Geoffrey Mond. They survived. 59. Vanished in broad daylight from the middle of our encampment. Strike that. Corpse found in a tree high above, suspended by an unidentifiable sticky substance.
Yum. So always be looking up and down and everywhere. Like
Gregory Trenowith. They survived. 202. Heart attack from grief after burning the animated corpse of his wife.
oof.
Florence Cayley. They survived. 201. Stabbed through the heart by the animated corpse of Osmond Shipwash.
Alright, everybody, and that is going to do it for us here today. Thank you so much for stopping out. I greatly appreciate you. Hopefully, you're enjoying the Path of Exile 2 content, because I'm sure there's a lot more to come. But before you go, make sure to check down in that description, check you out all those media links, likes, follows, subs, all them fun things, and then take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, stay healthy out there, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.